Guys, it's getting cold outside. It's that time of the year that every boater hates, especially if you live in a climate like we do here. It's time to winterize that boat, put it up for the season, and figure out what we're doing for the next few months until it's time to break it out again. And in this video, we're gonna outline the things that we're gonna do this winter season to keep us busy and get us on the lake faster next summer. Stick around. Welcome to Drop Anchor. I'm TJ. Thank you for joining us today. And again, on today's episode, we're going to talk about things that you can do in the winter when you can't boat. Let's go to the garage and get started. First thing first, though, guys, I want to hear from you. What are you guys doing this winter to keep yourself busy? I really want to know. Please put it down in the comments and let me know what you guys are doing. I'm curious. All right, let's dive into it. So welcome to the garage out here at Drop Anchor, the Drop Anchor Garage is what we're going to call it now. Anyway, we've done quite a bit of organization over the winter months, or rather over the fall months. But the side that really needs some help is my work area. I have two mobile carts that you guys can see here. There's one right there and another one right here. I have actually my table saw inset into this one, and on this guy I can actually attach my router onto this plate and kind of have myself a pseudo router table. But I want to make this space a little bit more usable. I've got some tools over here that I'd like to put to better use. For example, plasma cutter and plasma cutting table. I've got a drill press that was actually a Habitat for Humanity find that does actually work. Air compressor for using the plasma cutter, other air tools. And then over here, yes, my Harbor Freight Special titanium MiG 170, that's right. Back here is something which we cannot talk about. That is actually a Christmas present underneath that tarp for my daughter. Don't tell her. You see I've got board rack storage up there. But overall, as you can see, there's really no organization going on to this side of the garage, and that needs some help. So that is one of the projects I'm gonna work on this winter. Why, you might ask, is a workshop area important to a boating channel? Well, we have an older boat. If you've watched our other video about our 1991 or 92 Hurricane Sundeck 205, you know that it's old and it is in need of some love. So once we get the shop where it needs to be, it'll make working on some of those other boating projects much easier. And I've got plans. All right, we'll just set you, don't drop the camera. We'll just set you right up here. Which leads me into the next portion, the boat itself. That's why we have this channel anyway. The projects we plan to do on the boat, the things we use the boat for, the places we take it, the adventures that we go on with it. Hang on one second. What's happening? So some of those projects we're looking to complete this winter would be adding a second battery, probably a NoCo Genius 2-battery charger and a plug somewhere on the boat. So really all I have to do at the end of the day and getting back home is just plug the boat directly into this battery maintainer. I'm curious to hear from you guys. Do you leave your batteries in the boat throughout the winter and just plug a tender into them, or do you pull your batteries out of the boat? Let me know in the comments. And the reason why adding another battery in our boat is so important is because we want to add things like lights, a sound system, because there is none to speak of. This is currently our boating sound system right here, as you can see, which I'll say it does work great, but it would be nice to have something else and maybe keep something like this at camp. And on top of that, some sort of depth finder or GPS or chart plotter would be nice, although it's not really necessary for where we currently use the boat, but it could become more important to us later on down the line if we decide to venture out to, say, the intercoastal waterway. Our boat wouldn't be great out in the ocean, but I do think it could handle the intercoastal waterway just fine. Another planned mod for our boat is to add a larger bow cushion, so we can actually make a large platform in the bow seating area, so that if we did decide on a trip that we wanted to sleep on the actual boat, it would provide a great platform for either my daughter or me and my wife. You'd be surprised how much room the front end of this deck boat actually has. It's pretty comfy up there, and I think I could probably stretch out on it as long as I can get my feet between the two consoles. And then of course extended shade or some sort of tent set up to go over top of the boat if we do decide to sleep on it. Extended shade really just for when you're out there on the lake in hot summer days and you just need that extra shade on the boat. The bimini top is great, but it really only covers about 1/3 of the actual boat length. It'd be good to see if we can get something that can pull all the way to the back or maybe to the bow of the boat. All right, come with me on this one. The next thing that's kind of important to us too is better boat and gear organization. So currently, as you saw, we have built these shelves behind us, but most of our camping gear and boating gear lives on those shelves. So enter the next idea. Now, I'll keep this brief because it is a little bit louder here. We've got the road that's right behind us, but basically in this area right here where we have the eave for the house, I'd love to put in a storage locker, build it right up against the edge of the house where once I get off the boat, which is directly behind you right here, as you can see, you can take your gear out of the boat and put it directly into the storage locker behind us. Boards, life jackets, tubes, ropes, anything that is wet and needs to hang up and dry. We'll make this as weatherproof as we possibly can, put some locks on the outside of it, and just have a great storage space. And it'll save us a lot of room inside our garage. And with all that said, let me know how you store your boating gear. Do you take it out of the boat every time? Do you leave it on the boat? Do you pull it out and put it in a different spot? So also what we're going to be doing this winter is we're going to be figuring out our camp situation a little bit better in the back of this Tundra. This is for when we're not doing the boating, camping, or camping on the boat, but when we can tow the boat to the lake, but also have a campsite ready and waiting for us. As you can see, we have the deck bed box system. This is a bed box that I purchased for our business outside of YouTube. However, I think there's some incredible applications for what we're going to be doing on this channel. Really excited to see how I can get this thing packed out and get all of our camping gear stuffed down into each of these boxes. Expect a full review and video specifically on this bed box system at a later date. Some things I want to do to enhance our camping setup inside the truck are going to be things like adding a cargo net on the roof of this area, putting some lighting in the back here, adding auxiliary power because this Tundra does not have auxiliary power, or figuring out what portable power station is going to work best. Setting up a camp kitchen. I also want to be able to take my mountain bikes with me. Yes, I do mountain bike, or at least I did. I haven't in a while, and as you can see, I'm feeling the effects of it. But I want to be able to mount my mountain bikes actually to the side of the topper on this truck, freeing up the back space here so that I don't have those racks in the way constantly. I'm also interested in building our own solar shower to go on the roof rack that's going to go on this truck, as well as possibly adding an awning to the setup. What better way to explore around than trailering your boat and also camping out of your vehicle at the same time for those longer distance trips? I'm really looking forward to this part of our journey. I am a larger guy. I haven't always been this big. I've been skinny, I've been big. It goes back and forth. That's what happens for me. I got married and she's a really good cook. Anyway, last for me is maintaining those board sports. I just love board sports. I've always skateboarded, surfed, wake surf, snowboard, on top of a bunch of other sports I've done in my lifetime as well. Like you heard me mention earlier, mountain biking. I played football in high school. I did track and field in college. For me, this winter, I'll be doing a bunch of snowboarding. I've had that board since I was probably 16 or 17 years old. Something my parents bought for me when I was in high school. I still have it. It rides great. I love it. And best of all, my daughter has gotten into skiing. She likes that, so it's something that we go and do together. Ooh, I almost forgot this last thing. I'm gonna be spending some time this winter going to some of my buddies' motorcycle races. National Enduro, woods racing, and also flat track racing. If you haven't been to any of these types of events, they're incredible. What these guys do with some of these motorcycles is absolutely insane. Honestly, I wish I could join them, but I don't have a dirt bike right now. I sold it a couple years ago and, looking to get one again in the future, but it's not in the cards at the moment, but I will be back on one. But I think it's just a great opportunity to get out there, test out my camp rig, because most of the times these guys camp on site at these races, so I can test out my truck and just kind of hang out with friends and have a good time. This is what we do when we live in the mountains or we live in colder climates, or at least this is what I'm doing. So tell me about what you're gonna do. We want to hear from you, and thanks again for joining today. We'll see you next time.